All right, welcome back, 8th grade. So, in class today, we are working with the following problem and trying to find x. So, talking through the analyzing piece of it. When we are looking at pictures like this, we just need to look for angle relationships. So, like this paragraph over here is talking about that we could look for the straight angles that have angle measures that sum to 180 degrees. So, like here, they're talking about QPR, RPS, and SPT as they create this straight angle. They also bring up RPS, SPT, and TPV because they create this straight angle here. So that's why they're just showing there is another set of straight or angle pairs that we could use to create another set of angles. But these are just two examples of where we could get straight lines and use 180 degrees. We also have that vertical angles have the same measure, and that's important. The fact that they have the same angle measure. So these pairs of angles are vertical angles. And so we have RPS with WPV and QPR with TPV. All right, so in our lesson today, we are going to really hone in on why are vertical angles equal. And so we're going to show that in a lot of different ways. But to talk about the problem where we were solving and we were finding x for this, what they knew was angle QPR plus angle RPS. Let me zoom out so we can see all of this at once. All right, so we knew that QPR plus RPS plus SPT were equal to 180 degrees because they create this straight line. Because I know QPR is 67, we replaced it with the 67. We do not have an angle measure for RPS, but we do know that SPT is 42 degrees. And so knowing that, I plug in for what I know. It is still equal to 180 degrees. And then what they did was they took 67 plus 42, subtracted that from 180, and got that the angle measure is now 71 degrees. Knowing that RPS is 71 degrees, then we can say that WPV and RPS are vertical angles, therefore they are equal to each other. So then they set it up 6x minus 1, because that's my WPV, is equal to 71, because that's what we found RPS to be. Knowing that they are equal, set them equal, added 1 to both sides, and then we're going to divide by 6. And when we divide by 6, we get that x equals 12. And that's what we're supposed to go about finding, is that x is 12. So then when we turn the page, and it tells us to look at the analyze it. And what's another set of angles that form a straight angle? Well, when we look at the analyze it, that's these three angles right here. So we're going to put angle RPS, SPT, and TPV right here. Another pair, so form a straight angle. Here I am not making it easier for you to see, and that's on me. Straight angle. And we have angle, I gotta find them again. There it is. Angle RPS, angle SPT, and angle TPV. And then vertical angles. Angles would be angle QPR and angle TPV. So, again, I got those from looking at these sets right here. So, from there, that's the answer to angle 1. Those are our other set that we could use. We know the value of x is 12 because we finished solving. I'm going to pause my recording and I'm going to draw the picture so that we can go through 3, 4, and 5. Well, 3 and 4. So magic is going to happen. All right. So I've got the image that we were working with before, or at least a sketch of what it was, so that we don't have to go back and forth and you can see what I'm talking about. Number 3 wants us to explain how we can use straight angles to find the measure of TPV. So we are looking for this angle right here. That's the one I don't know. And so we want to use a straight angle. So the straight angle that best works, because we already have values, is angle RPV. So I'm going to say that the measure of angle RPV equals 180 degrees because it's a straight angle. So I know since it's a straight angle, it's 180 degrees. I know that these 3 angles create that angle. So I'm now going to say that the measure of angle RPS plus the measure of angle SPT plus the measure of angle TPV equals 180 degrees because these 3 angles create that straight line. From there, I'm going to plug in what I know. So I know that RPS is 71 degrees. I know that SPT is 42 degrees. I don't know this one. All right, so I knew 71, I knew the 42. I don't know my angle TPV yet. That is going to equal 180 degrees. I add these 2 together, I get 113 degrees is my measure of angle TPV. I subtract the 113. And so 180 minus 113 gives us 67. So I know the measure of angle TPV equals 67 degrees. And I know it says explain, and we should have been like writing out words, but when it comes to problems like this, this is how your math is going to look. So I figured that is probably a better explanation than just saying, well, because it's 180 degrees, I can take these 2, add them together, and we're going to get into more complicated than just not knowing one of them. All right, now it wants to know how can I find the measure of angle TPV using the fact that vertical angles have equal measures. So I know that angle TPV and angle, so here's TPV, across from it is QPR, and angle QPR are vertical angles. And because they're vertical angles, that means that the measure of angle TPV equals the measure of angle QPR. And I don't know this one. We're ignoring the fact that we just found it here. I know that the measure of angle TPV is going to equal QPR is 67 degrees. And the reason why we do both of them is to show you, here we did it with 180 degrees. Here we did it as them being vertical angles. They're the same thing. So it's part of showing why vertical angles are equal. Now, number 5 is going to take us through why. And you're not going to be expected to show this proof again, but I'm going to walk you through. I know that angle A and angle B are supplementary angles. So I'm going to write angle A and angle B are supplementary angles. I also know that A pairs up with D. So I know that angle A and angle D are supplementary angles. Because they are supplementary, that means that the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B equals 180 degrees. But I also A with D are supplementary. So measure of angle A plus the measure of angle D equals 180 degrees. Both of these equal the same thing. So because they equal the same thing, that means that this side is actually equal to that side. So I'm going to write measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B equals, technically it equals 180, but so does this next expression. So since they both equal 180, I can say that measure of angle B plus measure of angle A plus measure of angle B equals the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle D. And then if I want to get B by itself, I would subtract the measure of angle A. And with the measure of angle A, subtracting it out on both sides, I am left with the measure of angle B equals the measure of angle D. And that is why this is us showing why using supplementary angles, vertical angles will always be equal. I could have done this with another pair. I could have used A and B and C, and then I would have shown that angle A was equal to angle C. That's another way we could have gone about it, but this is one way that we can talk about it. Again, I'm not going to expect you to regurgitate that proof, but now that we know that that is true, now all vertical angles we can use, just knowing that they are equal. So using that right away, angle A and angle B are vertical angles. So that means that the measure of angle A has to equal the measure of angle B. Because that is true, now I can replace measure of angle A is 4x plus 6. So I'm now going to make this 4x plus 6 equals measure of angle B is 102. From here, I've created my equation. I am looking for x, so now I just need to solve for x. So I'm going to solve my equation. I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. So 4x equals 96. Divide by 4, and x will equal 24. So again, just stepping it through, they are vertical angles, therefore they are equal to each other. Once I know they're equal to each other, I can set what measure A is equal to 102, which is what measure B is equal to, and then solve for x. All right. I am going to pause us here, and I'm going to do these last two questions on a separate video, just so that it's not as long. And if it's this type of question that you're struggling with, you have a different video you can go back to. So I hope that helps. If you need 8 and 9, they're going to be in the next video.